Hello everyone. Hope you all are good and hope that you have studied all the previous lectures thoroughly. We are going to continue with chapter 6, that is subsidiary books, the sixth chapter in part 1. Yes, let us quickly revise what we have done in the previous lecture. So we have started this chapter and we have understood the meaning of subsidiary books. We have understood how many types of subsidiary books are there. As I said, subsidiary books are just the subdivided journals, nothing else. Yes, subsidiary books are kept to avoid any sort of confusion. Yes, like you will be keeping a record of the transactions of similar nature in separate books. Yes, in journal what you are doing is you are recording all the transactions in one book itself. Yes, so it is obviously time consuming in case if you want to obtain an exact figure, like what is my total purchase for the month of May, for the month of March or anything. Yes, but if you have been preparing the separate books for the transactions of similar kind, it becomes little bit easy. Yes, that if you want to know what is my total sales, what is my total purchase at the end of the month of May, for the month of March, anything. Yes, so if there is a separate record, yes, then it becomes easy. Yeah, so we have understood about the subsidiary books of goods. Yes, from that the very first book that we have understood is purchase book. We have understood the rules for recording transactions in purchase book. Like what type of transactions you will be recording in purchase book. Firstly, all the credit transactions. Yes, credit transactions of goods. Yes, not assets. This is the first rule. The purchase book of goods, in that you will record only credit purchase of goods. Yes. Secondly, cash transaction, credit transaction. The partial cash and partial credit transactions, they are entirely considered as credit transactions while recording in the subsidiary books. Yes, and thereafter we have understood an important point which says that the goods are recorded at a net price. What is net price? Net price is once you will deduct trade discount from the price of goods. Yes, that net price is to be recorded in purchase book. Yes, so all these points we have understood. On the basis of this, we have understood the specimen of purchase book. We have understood the types of purchase book, that is simple purchase book and columnar purchase book. In columnar purchase book, again you are having two types. That is columnar purchase book with the columns of different items of goods. Types of goods we can say. And the another one is according to the columns of expenses of goods. I mean expenses related to the purchase of goods. So we have solved illustration 1 about preparation of simple purchase book, and a sum of similar kind from exercise we have solved. Thereafter we have solved the second illustration, which is the preparation of purchase book according to the columns of goods, types of goods. Yes, again a sum of similar kind we have understood and we have solved from exercise. Yes, and thereafter, as I said that I am not going with the columnar purchase book of expenses, then I have started with sales book. Yes, sales book, which is given on page number 133, and again it is having two types: simple sales book, columnar sales book, as I said, just like purchase book. So sales book with columns according to types of goods, sales book with columns for goods and expenses. Yes, and if I am not wrong, we have started with an illustration related to preparation of sales book. Illustration 4 or maybe sum number 5. Let me just confirm this. From exercise we have solved question 5, question 4 firstly and question 5, and then We have started with sales book. The specimen of sales book is given on page number 134. Yes, the specimen of sales book is prepared here. It is date, name of customer, outward invoice number, ledger folio number and amount. Yes, so I gave you an idea about the specimen of sales book. Yes, and the rules that you will follow are completely similar to the rules that you follow for preparation of purchase book. Yes, so all those rules will be applied here, and being nothing new, we'll directly start with illustration 4. On page number 134 you are having a specimen of sales book, and I have also explained the difference between a purchase book and sales book, that instead of name of supplier, the name of customer will be written here. That's the only difference. Here first you write year, month, date, name of customer, the person to whom you have sold goods on credit, bill number. In case of purchase it is inward invoice number, and in case of sales it is outward invoice number. Then you have ledger folio number. As usual, there would appear nothing in this. And amount. In the column of amount you will always write the net price of goods. That is the price of goods less trade discount. Cash discount, as I said, cannot be calculated here because cash discount is calculated only on cash transactions. Yes, and in sales book we are always recording credit transactions. Yes. So finally, starting with illustration 4. Yes, I'll read the question and make sure that you are having a book as per the new syllabus. Yeah. So Shri Jagdish Hardware Stores dealing with iron from the following transactions prepare its sales book. Of course, we have started with illustration 4, and I think we have solved 2 transactions in the beginning, but we are going to do the entire sum from the very beginning in this lecture so that none of the confusion arises. Yes, so as I said, you should be ready with the format firstly, the specimen of sales book, illustration 4 that we are doing. Yes, so the heading. Sales book of Shri, who's the owner, Jagdish Hardware. Alright, this is how you write down the heading of the sum that you are solving, and thereafter the proper format, of course. The specimen should be clear in your mind, and firstly the year 2015, the month and the date. Yes, then let me read the first transaction. Sold goods of rupees 13,000 to Manan on 3 months credit and sent bill number 1967. Goods of rupees 13,000 have been sold to Manan for 3 months credit. Yes, and the bill number 1967. Firstly, you need to find out whether this transaction is cash transaction or it is credit transaction. Yes, so I can recognize well that this is the credit transaction. And credit transaction is to be recorded in sales book and not the cash transaction. Yes. So 2015, the 1st of June, the goods have been sold to Manan. So of course, Manan account, the name of the customer. The price of goods is 13,000. There is no trade discount, no cash discount, nothing. Bill number is 1967. Yes, bill number 1967. The bill number is mentioned in the transaction and hence I have written, and if it was not mentioned, then I simply have to put a dash. Yes, and in the column of LF always dash, as we are not writing anything. Yeah. Fine then, moving towards the next transaction on 6th of June. It says sold goods of rupees 8,000 at 5% trade discount to Anand Stores. Labor of rupees 300. Bill number 1970. Goods have been sold on 6th of June to Anand Stores. Firstly, this is a credit transaction, and credit transaction will be recorded in sales book. Yes, as you know, all the credit transactions are to be recorded in the subsidiary books. Yes, and while preparing sales book, you will record all the credit transactions for sale of goods. Yes, so goods have been sold to Anand Stores, and on 6th of June, so let me just write down the date, the name of the party, Anand Stores account, the name of the customer, and the bill number thereafter, 1970. Nothing in LF. Talking about the amount, 8,000 and 5% trade discount. 8 5s is 40, 400 is the 5% of 8,000, and hence 8,000 minus 400 gives you 7,600 rupees. Yes, let me present the calculation here. Goods are of rupees 8,000 minus 5% trade discount. What is 5% for 8,000? It is 400. And how do you obtain this? 8,000 into 5 by 100. Yes? So 400. So the net price of goods is 7,600. Yes? This is how you will calculate the net price of goods. Yes? Of course, this is very simple calculation and needs no explanation. But still, for avoiding any sort of confusion further, yes, 5% of 8,000 is 400. 400 is the trade discount that we have given to Anand Stores, that is allowed. Yes, so net price of goods is 7,600 to be written here. So 7,600. Alright? Okay. So then, talking about the labor of rupees 300. 300 is not recorded here, and we have a note for this on 6th of June. It says rupees 300 paid on behalf of Anand Stores for labor will be recorded on the payment side of cash book. Anything that is paid in cash cannot be recorded here, and that is the reason the labor has not been added. Yes, that payment is in cash, and all the payments in cash are recorded in cash book. Yes, that's the reason the labor charges have not been considered here in this sum. Yes, but obviously you will not forget to write down the note after this. Yes, as you know, we are preparing a specimen of sales book, and thereafter you need to leave sufficient space for writing down the notes for the transactions that you don't record. Yes, the one that cannot be recorded in sales book, उसके लिए एक नोट आपको लिखना पड़ता है after the sales book. Yes, so we have a note here. Rupees 300 paid on behalf of Anand Stores for labor will be recorded on the payment side of cash book. Okay. Goods have been sold on credit to Anand Stores, but the labor charges have been paid rupees 300. So that is paid in cash. Yes, obviously labor charges cannot be on credit. You have to pay to laborers. Yes, hope you know the meaning of labors. So 300 is obviously paid immediately in cash. Yes. So anything that is paid in cash will be recorded in cash book. Yeah, and that's the reason that amount is not added here, 300. Here you will write only the amount of goods. Alright. Next one then. on 10th of June, it says sold goods of rupees 5,000. Now in this transaction they have not mentioned anything. Yes, the goods have been sold of rupees 5,000. So when nothing is mentioned, it is always cash transaction. For identification of credit transaction, an important point is that there should be the mention about the name of the party. Yes, and in this transaction they have not mentioned the name of the party. So firstly, this is not credit transaction. Over and above that, it is also not mentioned that whether it is cash transaction or not. The words like check, cash, bank, nothing is mentioned. Yes. So this is a cash transaction. When nothing is mentioned in the given transaction, it is always considered to be cash transaction. Alright. So being a cash transaction, this transaction cannot be recorded in sales book. Because in sales book we always record the credit transactions for sale of goods. Yes? Fine then, again you will be writing a note for this. So on 10th of June, you are having a note, if you can see on page number 135. Cash sales will be recorded in cash book. Cash transactions, all the cash transactions are always recorded in cash book. Yes. So whenever you don't record cash transactions here, you have to compulsory write down a note. Yes. Fine. Next, on 20th of June, it says sold a machinery of rupees 20,000 to Bharat for rupees 16,000. A machine has been sold to Bharat. Yes. Now Bharat becomes my debtor, but he is the customer of course, but we are selling him a machinery. Yes. We are not selling him any goods. Yeah. We have sold a machine. So as you know, the transactions about sale of assets cannot be recorded in sales book. You have to record the transactions related to goods only. Yes, no other transactions can be recorded in sales book. Now machine is a fixed asset, or you can say non-current asset. Yes, so the sale of machinery will be recorded in journal proper and not in the sales book. Yes, because it has nothing to do with sales of goods. Yes. So again we have a note here on 20th of June, if you can see on page number 135, that fixed assets sold on credit which will be recorded in journal proper. Yes. The sale of fixed assets or non-current assets will be recorded in journal proper. Yes. So that note we have read. The next transaction on 25th of June, which says sold goods of rupees 9,000 at 10% trade discount to Ashwin. Ashwin paid 50% of the amount immediately. Goods have been sold to Ashwin of rupees 9,000 at 10% trade discount. Yes. So Ashwin is the customer, but Ashwin has paid half of the amount immediately. So this is partial cash and partial credit. Yes. So as I said, partial cash or partial credit transaction is to be treated as credit transaction entirely. Yes. So what we are going to record is the entire amount, the net price of goods. Yes. Half amount that is received from Mr. Ashwin will be recorded in cash book. Yes. And it cannot be recorded here. Alright. So yes. For recording this transaction on 25th of June, firstly we will understand its calculation. Yes. 9,000 is the price of goods, 10% trade discount. So you will calculate it the way it was presented on the board. Yes, now the calculation can be undertaken orally as per me. So 10% of 9,000 is 900. So the net price of goods is 8,100. Yes, and the name of the customer is Mr. Ashwin on 25th of June. So Ashwin account in the column of name of customer and the date 25. Yes, and the amount as per the explanation 8,100. The 10% of 9,000 is 900 and 900 will be deducted from 9,000. So 8,100 the net amount of goods. No bill number. Alright? Okay. Then the next transaction on 27th of June, which says sold goods of rupees 11,000 to Roshan at 10% cash discount by cash. Transaction on 27th of June, it says that the goods of rupees 11,000 have been sold to Roshan at 10% trade discount, 10% cash discount by cash. So you can see that this is the cash transaction clearly visible, and cash transactions cannot be recorded in sales book. They are to be recorded in cash book. So you will write a note here. On 27th of June you can see cash sales will be recorded in cash book. Yes, simple. Next, on 29th of June, they say Mohit placed an order for supply of goods of rupees 10,000. Mohit placed an order for supply of goods of rupees 10,000. Only the order is placed, but the order is not initiated yet. So this is a non-financial transaction, you know very well, and that cannot be recorded. So you obviously have to write down a note after this that non-financial transaction will not be recorded. Let us see. Yes, the note is given for 29th of June. Non-financial transaction will not be recorded. Yes. Next one. On 30th of June, sold goods of rupees 30,000 at 10% trade discount to Khushbu, and with a condition that she will be given 5% cash discount if she pays the amount of bill within 30 days. Bill number 1995 sent to Khushbu. Goods have been sold to Khushbu on credit, that is clearly visible from this transaction. Yes. So bill number is 1995. Yes. And the name of the customer is Khushbu. So Khushbu account, the last date. Yes. And the amount of goods is 30,000, 10% trade discount. 10% of 30,000 is 3,000. So the net amount of goods is 27,000. As I said, cash discount cannot be recorded because here we are dealing with credit transactions only. Cash discount will be given to her if she will pay within 30 days. So we have nothing to do with the payment right now. Yes. So here we complete illustration 4, and the only thing that is left is about total. Yes. So total is very simple. You need to add up this amount. $13,000 plus 7,600 plus 8,100 plus 27,000 gives you 55,700. And this completes our illustration about preparation of simple sales book. Yes, that's all. So you will obviously do this sum in your homework. Yes, and let us see if we are having a sum of similar kind in the exercise. Yeah. We have solved question 4, question 5, and now we are going to do sum number 7, which is about preparation of sales book, simple sales book, given on page number 152. Yes. Okay. So before that, let me just tell you that what is the theory portion that you are supposed to prepare for sales book. It starts from 135, page number 135. Sorry, actually page number 133. There you are having entire introduction about preparation of sales book. Yes. Subsidiary book, which is used for the purpose of recording the sale of goods on credit, is called sales book. Yes, you please put a tick mark over there. In any business, the credit sale of goods in which it deals is recorded in sales book. Cash sales transactions and asset sales transactions are not recorded in sales book. We have understood this point, and we have also seen this point practically by solving illustration 4. Yes, about sale of machinery we did not record. About sale of goods on cash we did not record. Yes, so please put a tick mark to this point also. This type of good transactions are recorded in cash book. Net amount of sales of goods is recorded in sales book. Net amount. Here is the net amount. 9,000 minus 900. That 900 was trade discount given. Yes. So what is the net amount of goods? It is 8,100. So we have covered this point. Please put a tick mark to that point also. See, they have explained. Net amount equals to total amount of credit sales less trade discount. Yes. What was the actual price of goods here? It was 9,000. But it was sold at 10% trade discount. So 9,000 minus 900, and the net price of goods is 8,100 that you are going to record. Yes. So this point again is covered. And as I said, there are two ways to prepare sales book. Yeah. Simple sales book, columnar sales book. In columnar sales book, according to the types of goods and according to the expenses, and according to the columns for goods and expenses. Yes, from this we have understood simple sales book, and we have solved illustration 4. Yes, the more detailed you can read further on page number 133, and then on the next page the specimen for simple sales book is given. The sales book of Shri so and so is the heading that you will give. Yes, and the specimen, date, name of customer, outward invoice number is the bill number that you will be sending to your customer, ledger folio number, nothing, never, and amount, which amount? The net amount. Yes, after deducting trade discount. So thereafter we have started with illustration 4 that has been explained to you very clearly in this lecture. Yes, and the name of the customers have been recorded here, and the transactions that we have not recorded, we are supposed to write down a note for the same. Yes, and lastly the total, and we will be putting lines here to indicate that the sum is completed. Yes, and that's all. Next we will be starting from exercise sum number, as I said, sum number 7.